The average visitor spends just 32 seconds on the generic contractor process page. But remodelers who have a dedicated design page, they're getting nearly 4 minutes of engagement. And that's not just a vanity metric. That's the difference between a sales meeting where you're constantly having to objection handle and do a lot of education around your process, and having a meeting with a client who's already educated on your process. You can have a much higher level of conversation about their specific problems. So coming up in this video, we're going to do 3 things. We're going to go over what this page actually looks like, the structure of it, common questions about it, like should you include pricing on your design pages. We're going to look at how we came to this conclusion and what results we've seen from people implementing it. And lastly, we're going to go over exactly how you can apply this to your own website so you can walk away from this video and actually do something with it. So let's get into it. Over the past 9 years, CGN has built hundreds of design, build, remodeling websites. And over that time, we've learned it's not just about how to build a website, but how to actually communicate your true value with your ideal clients through your website. And one of our most recent innovations is what we're going to be covering today, this dedicated design page. It's not a process page or a services page, but a page that exists for one specific reason: to pre-sell your design fee to homeowners before you ever hop on a call with them. So this is Box Construction, one of our design, build, remodeling clients out in Temecula, California, and here is their remodeling design page. Now, right away at the top, what you'll notice is we immediately go into benefits of design and why do design at all. A lot of the times, a lot of things we see wrong with process pages is they just very cold and calculatedly go through, here are the steps of our process. But they never take the time to get the homeowners invested to the why we're doing this. And so that's the most important thing we want to do with this page. We want to get them sold, and so that's why we start with it right away. So one of the questions to really ask yourself is, well, what problems do design actually solve for our homeowners? You might have thought about on your end how it removes a headache to actually get the process moving along, and all your subs, everybody on your team knows exactly what to build. But from a homeowner's perspective, what problem is this actually solving? Well, we have it laid out here on the page, the 3 main concerns that a homeowner is going to have. You have cost, you have time for the job, and you have the headache of actually getting it done. So we show these stats from a research in Penn State University. Now, this was actually on a commercial project, but we're extrapolating that to residential projects here, that on average they cost 6% less, they finish 33% faster, and they have fewer surprises and changes. We continue down with some images of, here are some examples of what you'll see in our design process. They create a cohesive space, and they help visualize your options. If you want to go through on this page, we'll have it linked in the description of this video. You can take your time with the page and scroll through, read all of this text. But for now, I mainly just want you to think about your own website and the education that's happening to your clients. When they come to your website, are they immediately seeing the specific benefits of your design process? Or is it something that's buried maybe in the middle of your process page and they would have to search for it, and even then it's more of a how of here's how we do it rather than why we do it this way? From here, we can get into the section of what you would typically expect. Here we have all the steps of our design process, each with a visual of what they can actually expect to see when they're going through this phase. And then we get into something that a lot of people skip, having a transformation from here's what the design looked like and here's what the final product looked like. Now, each time you can show people what you said you were going to do and what you actually did align, that's going to help them build trust with you. Any of you who listen to Alex Hormozi will be familiar with him talking about that in your sales process as well. Now, scrolling down from here, we have some kind of key features that help differentiate you from the competition. For example, with Box, they're Marietta's only on-site design studio. It's important to emphasize that we're the only location that you can go to in person and see your samples here in person. Then we finish it up with homeowners who love the process. We have a testimonial video here, links to their Google reviews that's live updated, and then frequently asked questions. And before we move on, frequently asked questions here kind of reminds me that the first question here says, what does remodeling design cost? And while we don't have that prominently displayed throughout the page, there are some pages where we do it. Now, the reason that we didn't for Box, and the reason a lot of people opt not to, is because if your lead volume is already pretty low and you're trying to increase the lead volume, adding that pricing information on the page might actually decrease some of the leads that come through. If you're being inundated with a bunch of leads and you're having a lot of conversations but nobody understands your pricing, then that's a good sign that you should include it. So what have we seen as a result of implementing this? Well, like I said in the beginning of the video, we went through and we audited 70 of our clients before we remodeled their pages. What was their average time on page of their process page? And it came in at 32 seconds. For people like Box Construction, where we changed it to a remodeling design page, for them specifically, we saw that time jump up to nearly 4 minutes. what was it actually? Yeah, 3 minutes and 55 seconds was their average time. So then when it comes down to sales calls, when you have to bring up something like your design fee, instead of having to sell it cold on the call, it's something that's already been handled on your page. And on top of that, to me, it shows that it's actually connecting with people and they're staying on to read about it. I mean, 32 seconds, they're coming in, scrolling, looking at pictures, skimming for a few sentences, and then moving away. But if you're able to actually connect with people and get them drawn in, like we did at the beginning by showing them the benefits, then you can see those times jump up, and now we're sure that they actually went through and read a lot of this information. So how can you actually apply this to your own website? So first thing is, I have the links for these pages in the description of this video. You can go through and actually see some of our own sites that we've designed, see what you can apply. And the second thing to consider is the navigation of how to get to this page. So what we did with Box specifically is we have it as the very first thing in their nav bar. This is one of the most important conversations that's going to happen with every single prospect, so we want it to be very prominently featured. We also go through and link it again on the home page here. Once we have our services listed down here, we have it listed as a complete service, and that takes you to the page. And then the last place that a lot of people don't even think about is featured projects, or a lot of you have gallery pages, something like that. When you're coming through here and you have a service that mentions design, actually going through and then giving them more information about the design. Here's an example of how we did that on another one of our clients' sites, Remodeling out in Atlanta, Georgia. This is one of the tactical examples of what I was talking about in the beginning of not just thinking about how to build a website, but how to actually communicate value to your clients and getting them the information, answering the questions that they're having as they're having them. Now, if this information has been helpful for you, you want to follow up on it further, we wrote a full blog on exactly the breakdown. It goes more in depth than I did in this video, and will guide you directly on how to create these pages for yourself. The second thing is, this is only one of the many pages that you should have on your site. I mentioned linking to it from a bunch of different areas on your site. Another video that I have here is 4 pages that people often forget when designing their website that are actually leading to higher conversion opportunities for people coming onto your site. I would check those 2 things out, and I will catch you in the next one.